The Department of Trade and Industry and Competition, in fact, has allocated 141 million rands to the National Empowerment Fund. The NEF says that this money will be used to support businesses owned and managed largely by black women entrepreneurs. Access to the loans, which carry a 6-month interest-free period, are subject to a loan portion from the NEF's regular financing. Thereafter, the interest rate will be accrued at about 1.5% for the remainder of the term. Concessionary funding between 250,000 rand and 10 million rand will be provided for each transaction. This comes after the NEF launched an economic distress fund for black-owned businesses in February this year. For more of what to make of this and, more importantly, what criteria is going to be used for this blended finance, let's bring in Acting Divisional Executive for Venture Capital and Corporate Finance at the NEF. Quite a mouthful. Zama Khanyile joining us now via our video link. Zama, great to see you. Thanks very much indeed for speaking to us on Newsroom Channel 405. I want to begin with some background if I can. Tell us a bit more about the NEF, its mandate, and whose interests it's meant to protect.
Thank you for the opportunity, Ayanda, and for having the National Empowerment Fund this morning. So the National Empowerment Fund is the only government agency that's solely mandated to grow broad-based black economic empowerment. So our job is to ensure that we support black-owned businesses that are also black-managed to grow, whether they're looking to establish new ventures, to grow existing businesses, or to buy into previously white-owned businesses. So that is our bread and butter, is funding black-owned businesses. And now we've got this exciting proposition to provide concessionary funding to women-owned businesses, ensuring that they are part of the economic reconstruction and recovery plan by availing these highly concessional funds to them over a period of time.
We'll speak about that initiative in a bit more detail. Let's speak about the track record of the NEF so far. How long has it been around, and how successful is it in its aim to try and fund black businesses?
So we've been around for many years now, over 18 years that the NEF has been corporatized, and we've done a lot of transactions. We've disbursed transactions more than 7.5 billion. And what's good to know is that we've actually collected more than 3.7 billion. So we've got a track record in deploying funds to black-owned businesses and also working along those businesses to ensure that they're sustainable so that we return the originally invested capital so that we can recycle it and empower more black-owned businesses.
The aim now is to focus specifically on black women entrepreneurs. 141 million rand being set aside for that. Does it go far enough? Just, I guess, your initial take on that?
I think it will make an impact, and that's the opportunity that excites us this morning. Is it enough? Well, possibly not. But I think the more we get these women to step up and avail themselves and put their hands up to say, I would like to apply for this funding to grow my business, either operating in the primary sectors, in the secondary sector where there's a conversion process, or in the tertiary sector where we're dealing with the distribution of products. We need to see more of these women stepping up, and hopefully we can negotiate for more of these funds, because definitely there's more needed than the 141 million.
Right, and to be able to motivate to get more money, you need to have a proven track record that this works. That gives us then an ability to ask the question about how you're going to decide which of these black women entrepreneurs actually get money.
So we're opening up to applications, and we've got a dedicated line to make sure that we really streamline all the applications that come in. We've set up a separate investment committee specifically looking at these Women Empowerment Fund transaction that sits every week. So we're looking to have a quick turnaround plan and turnaround time to disperse shortly or not too long after we received the applications. And we are basically rolling up our sleeves and going on roadshows to ensure that we do spread the word so that we can help as many women as possible as soon as possible.
Women who are listening who think they might be eligible, what are you looking out for exactly?
The most important thing is that it must at least, the business must at least be 51% black woman owned. So we want the control to be in the hands of Black women. We also want to see these women being operationally involved. So we want day-to-day involvement, not passive involvement in the business. It can be a startup, it can be a new venture, it can be a transaction where you're buying into an untransformed entity from 250,000 rands. The only criteria that comes with the funding, given the source of it, is that the businesses must be located in a township or a rural area, because we're trying to make a difference where it will matter most, where we see the highest numbers of unemployment and the lowest level of economic activity.
That's important information. Many will be wondering why it's a loan and not just a cash injection.
So it's a very concessional loan. You will know where prime rates are sitting at the moment, and I think you'll agree that a fixed percent of interest at 1.5 is highly concessional. What we're trying to inculcate is a culture of sustainable businesses, because if this 141 million is just a grant, it goes into the market only once. But if it is a repayable loan, then we have the opportunity to recycle it and expand the impact by supporting even more Black women-owned businesses from the collections we will get from those clients that will be paying us subsequently.
And what's the track record of businesses being able to pay back money, Zama?
Well, we find that actually women carry a lower risk profile. They are better payers, and there are various studies that have supported this, and we've also observed this anecdotally within our NEF portfolio. But as I highlighted earlier on, if you look at the funds deployed versus what we've collected back as an organization, we actually disprove the myth that Black businesses doesn't repay their loans, because of 7.5 billion rand paid out, we've actually collected more than 3.7 billion.
Oh, okay. That's more promising, I think, than many people would have guessed, actually. But you've been at this for a number of years, over a decade, approaching 2 decades, actually. Where are the pitfalls still?
The pitfalls are around, that offering the blended supports, because SMEs not only need financial support, so Black-owned business doesn't need financial support, but they also need non-financial support. So to counter all these elements, NEF has a comprehensive, initiatives across the continuum. So we've got what we call pre-investment assistance, where we assist clients before we've even invested in them to have a bankable or fundable business case that they can take to the NEF or any other entity that they wish to. We've also developed our business planner tool that comes with the financial modeling tool, because more often than not, entrepreneurs will have an idea but fail to articulate that into a pitch that will make it an investment committee. So we help them package their transactions. Once we've invested, we know that there's a high failure rate in businesses, especially in the first 3 to 5 years. So we've got a very active post-investment unit that monitors and plays an advisory role in some cases on some of our transactions. And we actually deploy mentors at a cost to the NEF into the businesses to help them, whether they are needing help with their marketing strategy to improve operational efficiencies, or what we see most of the time is that there is a business, but the accounting and record keeping is lacking. So we've got what we call a back office support that we offer, an in-house accountant that generates monthly management accounts and annual financial statements for our investees that need that service.
So it's not just about throwing money at the businesses and saying all the best, we'd like the money back sometime. Speak to us about ways through which the public can be able to see who's gotten any kind of help, especially from this 141 million rand. I think for reasons you'll appreciate, many South Africans would want to know how this money is being dispersed.
Understandably so, Ayanda, especially in the climate that we operate under. So as you mentioned earlier on, these monies actually come from the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition, and they've been allocated to the NEF to deploy. This is the 3rd round of funding that we've received from the DTIC on the back of the successful deployment of the first 2 funds. So we do have a duty to report to the DTIC. Some of those reports are available on our website, and moreover, our potential investees or people interested in the NEF can visit our website, which is www.nefcorp.co.za. And on there, you've got access to our annual reports that cover case studies and reports on the number of approvals, amounts dispersed, jobs created, and so forth.
Zama Khanyile, let me thank you for your time. Really appreciate your being able to share this much needed information given our economic climate. Zama is the Acting Divisional Executive for Venture Capital and Corporate Finance at the NEF. That's the National Empowerment Fund. Zama, once again, thanks very much indeed.